Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Smash the like, tickle the subscribe, ding ding. No, let's get down to serious business. It's so serious, players. I haven't even bothered to put on my water player shirt today. This is my Sunday clothing, my Sunday best. Okay, we have to sometimes dress up a little bit. I didn't even put this microphone under the shirt. That's how serious this message is. We're going to learn how to break 90 and break 100. We've already done the hour of power to break 90. We've done the 6-part 100 series where I even played left-handed. Okay, I'm not amphibious. I can't hit the ball both ways. I learned to hit it left-handed to prove to you to break 100. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've played with 5 people, all trying to break 90 and 100. I've recorded 2 of them. You'll see the videos soon. 3 of them I didn't record. Of the 5, we broke 90 and 100 3 times. Of those 5 people, 3 of them broke it. The other one shot a personal best, and the other one tied their personal best, which they last shot a year ago. What I've picked up playing with these guys, the duffers and the fluffers, is, number 1, you have to understand your ball's trajectory. You need to know, once you've played a lot, you're playing a bit more golf, you're on the course, you're at the range, what's your ball's trajectory? It's very consistent. Okay, it's very consistent. When you hit it correctly, semi-correctly, you're going to know roughly the launch angle of your ball. Played with a couple of guys trying to break 90. They didn't understand this concept. And I'm not talking necessarily about knowing exactly how high it is, but knowing that when you have a tree in front of you, you can clear it or you can't clear it. Or if you hit your general 9-iron from this position, it's going to smack bam straight into the middle of the palm tree or the tree. But if you hit a 6-iron or a 5-iron, like a bit lower, you're not going to hit that. But a lot of people see 190 8-iron, 149 iron, 150 7-iron, and they just pull the 7-iron. But there's a tree in front of you, 5 yards, 10 yards, 2 yards. You need to understand that your ball is going to launch and either hit that or go under it. And you need to plan around that. Okay? Knowing your trajectory is going to help you to understand how to go under, over, around obstacles. If you know you hit a fade, you know you can fade it around a tree. Don't go pin hunting when you have a fade. If you have a tree in front of you, you know you can fade it around. Know the launch angle of your ball. How high is it going to go? Okay? These are very important aspects that not necessarily something that you have to consciously go and practice at the range, but when you're playing, be mindful of how the ball is flying off your 9-iron, off your 6-iron, off your 5 wood. So you know when you're hitting a shot, you're not going to bash into something in front of you that ricochets the ball all over the place and you end up taking a triple bogey or quadruple bogey. If you want to go over something, understand. You have to be so certain that that is going to go over there. Okay? If there's a gap, a nice big gap, yes, you are 180 yards out, but you have no other choice but to go through the gap. 180 yards, is your 5-iron going to get high enough to reach the gap? No. So you take your 7 or 8-iron that will get through the gap to put you in a position to have another shot. These are the things you have to worry about. Trajectory. Just learn your trajectory. Be conscious of it as you hit shots, as you play. Start to understand, when I hit 9, it looks like that. When I hit 5, it looks like that. Very important. Next part of that is the punch shot. You need the punch shot. Now, the punch shot is not necessarily a specific technique. Just play your chip shot that you do around the green with your 1 chipping club, which we'll talk about next, but just de-loft, take the loft down. So if you're standing in the trees, there's no hero shot. Forget it. If you're hitting hero shots like Sevi Ballesteros, little fade through a gap, over one tree, under another tree, rolling left to right onto the green, between the bunkers, you're not playing breaking 90, breaking 100 golf. You are playing over 110 golf, because you shouldn't be hitting that shot. Now, when you're in the fairway, when you're in the rough and you're trying to get back to the fairway, whatever club you think you need, okay, if you're chipping around the green with a pitching wedge or a sand wedge, if you look at the chip and you say to yourself, I'll hit a pitching wedge, hit an 8 or a 7, de-loft 2 or 3 clubs down, and then hit the same shot as you would around the greens, and make sure you GIOTFF. Get it on the fairway, okay? Gioteffer. So Gioteffer from in the rough. You want to make sure you get it back onto the fairway. You don't want to be stuck in the rough behind trees again. Okay, you'll see in a video with the man, Julian, you're going to see that he first learned the shot and he wasn't hitting it far enough because he was taking the wrong club. So you want to you want to club up, club down, whatever you want to call it. Instead of hitting the wedge, you want to hit the 8 or the 7. Instead of hitting the 9, you want to go 7 or 6 and make sure you chip it. It's not a special shot, just hit a normal chip shot that's going to stay under the tree. Remember, learn the trajectory of your shot so that when you go and pitch it back to the fairway, you don't bing into the branch. You want to remember your trajectory even with your punch shot. This punch shot is a non-negotiable. If you want to break 90 and 100, you need a punch shot. It'll serve you well. When you want to break 80, you'll still need the punch shot, except now your punch shot could be a bump and runner from 80 yards on a firm surface. It could be going under the trees into a bank, popping up and rolling onto the green. It's a very valuable shot. If you don't have the punch shot, it's like saying you don't have a 7-wood. It's like saying you don't have a spine and a core club of a core bunch of clubs that you know how to hit. That's very essential. Watch the Breaking 100, Breaking 90 series. This is add-on. One chipping club, okay? You'll see with one of the guys, maybe two, maybe both the guys, have one chipping club. And what I find is one chipping club is the easiest. You get intimate with that club. You know everything about that club. You know its secrets. It knows your secrets. You share a bed. Whatever it is you have to do, you have to get intimate with that club. When you hold it, it must be an extension of who you are, okay? That can be a pitching wedge, a 56, a 52, a 54, a 9 iron, whatever you want. I would highly recommend not using a 60 degree if you're trying to break 90 or 100. 60 degrees are devil's clubs, and they should only be used by people doing the 666 system, which is the devil system to break 80. The 60 degree wedge is too complicated. If you can hit it playing 90 and 100, please continue. This is the point of these videos, is it's for thinking people. I'm not giving you cookie cutter stuff. If you can do things I'm telling you not to do, be honest with yourself. Can you do them? Carry on doing them. Can you hit driver? Yes. Keep hitting driver. Can you hit a 60 degree? Keep hitting 60 degree. This is for the broader audience. This is the broadcast, the broad audience. One chipping club, 56 pitching wedge, 9, 54, 52, whatever you want. Get intimate with it. Know it. When you get around the green, you know what you're going to do. But very important, I see a lot of people trying to break 90 and 100. They don't understand that when you're chipping to the pin and you're around the green, you're chipping from here. You don't land it at the pin. Okay, you do not land it at the pin. There's a whole lot of ground here before the hole. If you land at the pin, you're flying over the green all the time. Okay, it's a very, very valiant effort to see you want to hold the chip, but please, you have to understand, you have to land it short to roll up. At this level of the game, you are not hitting low spinners. You are not hitting the professional spinning shots. You're hitting the standard chip shot and roll up. Please account. With your one chipping club, go to a practice green and go chip and learn the trajectory and learn the rollout. So when you're on a course and you're looking at the downslope or you're looking at the upslope or the left to right, whatever, you know you're leaving yourself enough space to let that ball roll up. And you'll find with practice you'll get a consistent flight, a consistent roll, and you can use that on the course knowing how it will work between you and the hole. No more chipping as if you're landing at a yard from the pin. It's the biggest thing I see with people breaking 100 especially, is landing it too close to the hole and pew, way past, and now you've got another chip back or a big long putt, which more than likely ends in a 3-putt. Gapping in your wedges and your clubs is absolute nonsense. I mean, I wish I could put a stronger word there, like puffies. Gapping is nonsense puffies, okay? I see so many guys online, they're like talking in forums and things about like, oh yeah, you know, why are you playing a 50, pitching wedge and your next club is a 56 and then you have a 58 or whatever it is like that. It doesn't matter when you're trying to break 9 to 100. Look at those videos. I say take like 5, 6 clubs max. Gapping is mental masting, okay, for a lack of a better term without getting blocked, okay? Gapping is nonsense. If you got a pitching wedge at 48 degrees and a next club at 56 degrees, that's your 2 wedges. Breaking 90 and 100, that's all you need. When you start worrying about having 4 degree divisions between each club, Unfortunately, it's a nice and novel idea if you're a consistent ball hitter. But if you're not a consistent ball hitter, it doesn't mean anything. You're far better off having one chipping club and a pitching club, and then a club that goes for under 100 yards, you use one club. Something like that. But worrying about gapping and trying to get your gaps correct at 90 to 100 level, no, not worth the time. Under 120 is king. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're trying to push. I don't care what book you've written. I don't care what course you're trying to get commission on. Inside 120 is the king. Whether you're breaking 80, 90, 100, or 70. It doesn't matter what you're trying to break. Under 120 is king. That is your scoring zone. That's where you want to hit the green and you want to two-putt at maximum. It's where you want to chip. It's where you want to pitch. It's where you want to hit from the bunkers, partial shots. Everything inside 120 is king. People from not breaking 100 are missing plenty of greens from inside 120. They're teething it. They're duffing it. They're hitting really down on it. Now that is for the duffers and the fluffers. They need to go to a pro. A lot of people have said on my community post, you can see, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. But then you look at the average round of golf where they live, and it's practically the same price as an hour with a pro. Now, do you want to give up one round to have a lesson with a pro? 2 rounds to have a lesson with a pro? Some people don't. I don't understand the thinking, because to me, giving up 2 to 3 rounds of golf to make a leapfrog in progress by an amount you can't even imagine is so worth the time, okay? So if you are having trouble inside 120 trying to break 90 and 100, you need to see a professional, because if you can't hit the green from 120, or if you can't get it around the green without teething it over the green, without fluffing it in the bunker in a plug lie short of the green, without leaving yourself a 50-yard pitch after a 120-yard shot, the 50-yard pitch which you hate, which we all hate, if you're not confident with that, and it takes so long and so much practice to get confident with those partial shots, you need to go see a pro to help you with either. You can start with your pitching. You can start from 120. You can start with chip shots. You can start with bunker shots. You can start with putting. You can start with 2 and 3 foot putts with a pro. But inside 120 is king. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care what you've read about strokes gained, blah, blah. You are not a god or a robot. So you got to get good at eliminating the puffy. You have to get good at eliminating the Scheisenhausen, okay? I don't give eine kleine Scheiße about how much strokes gained. No, I want to do a hand action, but I can't. It's rude. It's nonsense, okay? It's just puffies in your head to make you, buy into data, where the game that's run on emotion and mental capacity is somehow suddenly substituted with data. Like the whole world's gone mad on data, okay? We don't run our lives on data. We don't run our golf game on data, okay? Nobody out there is that objective. Now, by saying that, what I mean is you are not going to hit perfect shots all the time. You're not. So whether you listen to strokes gained and you hit the ball longer off the tee and closer to the green, it doesn't matter at this stage, because I played with a guy, he was hitting bombs, 250 in the fairway. But as soon as he got to the approach shot, it was, and it's fine if it's in the right area, you push it but you're staying short, you're going over with one in the teeth, you're leaving it in bunkers. That doesn't help you. So you can hit a 280-yard bomb, but if you're not inside 120, a king, you're going to have trouble, because your 6 irons are not going to hit the green. You need to get up and down. If your pitching wedge is not hitting the green, you need to make it hit the green. Inside 120 is king. Once you're chipping and you're putting it to 3 feet, you got to make that putt. Once you're on the green lag putting, you put it to 3 or 4 feet, you got to make that putt. No more 3 putts. Get busy on the game inside 120. Please remember, that's everything inside 120, from 1 foot to the hole to 120 yards from the hole. Know yourself. You have to know yourself. I play with too many people, especially these 5 in the last 2 weeks, and before that, plenty more. People think they know their game. Okay, this is key. You have to know your game. Some say, oh, no, I want to lay up to like 80 yards. I love 80 yard with my 50 degree. We get to 80 yards with a 50 degree. That 50 degree goes 95 yards. Now they've got to play a partial shot, and they're duffing and they're hitting it over the green. But I know for a fact, watching them play their round from 120 with a pitching wedge, they are doing quite well. Now you need to understand, where are you doing well? Are you hating your driver? It's just being topped. all over the place, change it up on the tee. Are you terrible with a hybrid or a 3-wood off the tee? Hit the driver if you like the driver. So one guy hits a nice big fade. It's a big fade, but it's reliable. Okay, so know your game. You hit a fade, you've got 200 yards in, you don't have a 200-yard club, you want to lay it up. Why do you want to lay it up to 50 yards? Are you good at 50 yards? Honestly? Because I'm not. Some of the pros you see playing don't like 50 yards. So if you're trying to break 90 and 100, do you really like a 50-yard shot? Or do you prefer the 90-yard shot with a sand wedge or a 54-degree? Know your game. Plan back from the hole, knowing your own game. Don't tell me you have a preferential shot that you don't prefer. Because you're lying to yourself. When you lie to yourself at golf, you don't impress anyone, okay? You only depress yourself. What I'm impressed by is a dude trying to break 100, like G-Money. You've seen him in the videos, old guy. I think his best now is like 107 or 105. And to watch him make that score was like, man, it filled me with so much joy because he's just struggled with course management for so long, and now he has course management. You know, when you see a guy bumping and running from 60 yards with his 6-iron, getting it on the green in 3, and now 2-putting all the time, makes a big difference. He knows himself. He knows his distance. Okay? Don't count as you go. One of the big ones I found, and also some feedback from the previous video, you know, it may be tied into IQ. Now look, I'm not saying you're stupid, but, you know, you have to think about this. When I say don't count, I don't mean don't count your shots at the end of the hole. Of course, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6. You write it down on the scorecard. You go 3, 6, 7, 5, 4, 4, 6 on the scorecard, and then but you don't put a little dot there, or a +2, or a +3, or a triangle, or a square, or circle, whatever it is you use. You don't do that because you don't count it in your mind related to par as you go. You don't count your score after 9 holes. You don't do that. If you do that and you continue to do that, everything else here you may as well just forget. Everything in the previous videos, just forget it, because you must not be counting the score in your mind as you go or at 9 holes. That's the end of story. You count your score that you've written down at the end of the round after you've holed out on number 18. That's the biggest thing. If you don't do that, just forget everything else, okay? Clueless mechanics. This is a big one, okay? I play with too many guys. They are so into the mechanics, something they've seen, where you have to do that from someone's video. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to be horrible, but I have to be horrible. Is that you don't know anything. It's clueless. Unless you have a professional who you're seeing regularly, who's giving you drills and feedback to show you, yes, I know what I'm working on, you don't have a clue. If you're trying to break 90 to 100, you have no idea about swing mechanics. Nothing at all. Just drop that. And if you want to know swing mechanics, go to the pro. But if you're going to research yourself and go look at videos and magazines and everything like that, you're going to screw yourself up, because you're taking mechanics you don't know about. Firstly, you don't know anything about them. You just, you know, somebody is telling you this thing regurgitated based on their experience or some generic tip not specifically tailored to you, and you're taking it to the course, which is worse than anything you can do in the world. You can see some of my videos. When I take my swing mechanics to the course, it's a disaster until I forget them on the back nine and play nice golf. Now, if you're going to take your mechanics to the course, that's mistake number 1. If you're taking mechanics you know nothing about to the course, that's fatal. That's a fatal error. You're practically screwed before you start. You may as well just go back home, because that's not going to work. You know, you're trying to do these things and you don't know what they mean. And what do you end up doing? You just end up screwing yourself because you don't even know what it is. Okay? Putting. This is so key. It's the number 1 place you can pick up shots or eliminate shots. It's about eliminating the puffies. We're not gaining strokes to break 9 to 100. We're not gaining anything. We're eliminating the shizer, okay? We're eliminating and reducing the errors. You are not going for birds. You're not trying to make eagles. You're trying not to make doubles, triples, quadruples. You're trying to lower the ceiling, not raise the floor, okay? Lower the ceiling, raise the floor. I kind of like that. Lower the ceiling, raise the floor, okay? Lower that ceiling. We don't want 7s and 8s and 9s on the card. That's where you break 80 and 90, or 90 and 100. Even 82. It's about error reduction, okay? putting 3 feet. If you can't putt inside 3 feet, if you're not practicing putting inside of 3 feet in your first year or two of golf, you're wasting your entire life. Everything starts from the hole, whether it's planning or whether it's the way you play the game, whether it's your striking. I guarantee that if you work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foot putts, the rest of your bag is going to thank you. It's going to filter up. You're going to learn about the club face. You're going to learn about tempo. You're going to start to understand where your arms need to be. You're going to start to understand the balance. You're going to start to understand the feeling of the sweet spot. That will filter up to your game. Your chipping game, chipping swing gets a little longer, okay? Then you go back into your pitching game, okay? Then you're in your iron game, and these things benefit that. You move from 1 foot back to 5 feet. This is going to help your putting in ways you can't imagine, because you are scared as a 90 or 100 seeker. You are scared of the pace of the greens. You're scared of leaving yourself a 3-footer beyond the hole. You're scared of leaving a 4-footer beyond the hole. I'd rather watch a guy three putt from behind the hole after his first putt than watch him do it from leaving it short. I leave a lot of putts short, granted. I just don't find the sweet spot because of no practice. But I'm confident enough on the 3-footers that just hit it in. But the point is, you never want to hit 2 putts in the same direction. So that means either you're to the right and you're putting at 90 degrees, or you're past the pin and you're putting it back. That's what you want to remember, is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 footers, so that when you're on the green on a lag putt, you're feeling great inside 5 feet. When you've got a chip, you know, bam, I need to get it to 4 feet. And with a lot of practice, you can do it having only 1 chipping club. Once you get inside the 5 feet, bam! But you've got to practice it. This stuff doesn't just come automatic. You see in my videos, I'll walk up to a putt from 5 feet and jam it. It has nothing to do with natural talent or ability to just hit it. That comes from when I was a kid, just putting, non-stop. Putting on carpets, putting on Persian rug-looking imitation things that my family had, and hitting it to a little bird on it, or hitting it to that, or hitting it into a cup down the hallway, whatever. You're always putting, okay? Pace adaptation, this is hard. This is difficult. I have yet to meet one breaking 90 or 100 person who cannot read a green. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You can tell me I don't know how to read a green. You do. Everybody I've met knows basically how to read the slope. Now, the thing you have to remember is, once you have that, you need the correct pace. But you only get correct pace on long putts and chips by practicing. How much time do you spend on the driving range bashing your driver trying to be the next Eldrick Woods? A long time. How much time do you do 3-footers and in, 4-footers, 5-footers, 6-footers, and then long putts to learn your pace, to learn how far back do you take the putter and follow through? How far back can I take it to make it go a certain distance? If I put it up higher on the slope and then let it die quicker and it dies down the slope, how does that affect the break? If I have a left to righter and I put it way out left and I let it go slowly, does it break more? Am I better with the left to right or right to left? All these things, just be conscious when you practice. But the main point is, you're not practicing it. I know. You can tell me till you're blue in the face as a 90-100 breaker that you're working on your putting. Because all the people who've been working on their putting are no longer talking about trying to break 90 or 100. They're talking about trying to break 80. Okay, they're talking about trying to break 80, trying to get to level par, because they've done this already. They've done this. They're not standing on the range scraping and hitting. They have a purpose. Why? Because they've done this already. They're trying to get their driver with a baby draw or baby fade consistently to get lower scores. Why? Because they've done all this. They did this. They did the chipping with one club. Now they've got gapping. Because why? They have more skill. They have more confidence. So they gap their wedges. They have a punch shot. They use the punch shot already to get under 90. They still use it to get under 80 because they have the confidence that they're going to punch it out and hit it on and make a putt. And if they don't, they 2-putt and make a bogey at worst. Trajectory. They know their trajectory. People breaking 80 and breaking 72 know their trajectory very well. And they know themselves. Know yourself. What shots don't you like? What shots do you like? What shots are you lethal with? What shots are you terrible with? Work on the shots you're terrible at. Work on them away from the course or on the course during a practice round. But don't hit those shots in your scoring rounds if you're not confident with them. Avoid them like the plague. That's all I have for you today. I don't know how long this video is. I don't care. But just downstairs is all the water player gear. People think this is just a merch thingy. This is not a merch thingy. Look at this. This is 2 iterations of a divot tool that I won't even make. I'm just giving them away. Here's the feather divot tool, which is an iteration that took 3 iterations to make, that I made myself. I designed and I made, and we're going to go downstairs to go look at what I'm talking about. Packing desk, all the shirts, all the polos. We've got the head covers right here. It's a little bit dark down here, players. That's the head covers. Over here we have people's orders waiting to go, just waiting for a couple items. Here's the divot tools and the ball markers. A bit dark down here, but you get the idea. We've got the patches down there. We've got poker chips over there. Here we have the easy peasy lemon squeezy ball markers. Okay, that took 2 iterations to make. There's the towels. Those took a few times to make. So everything here, you can see the bucket hats over here. We've got surf and turf. We've got the cock and bulls. We've got the birdies of paradise over there. We've got the hummingbirdies down there. A lot of the stuff is out of stock now because you guys went crazy. Okay, players, over here we have this is the hat clip. Now this hat clip took 3 iterations to make correctly because I wanted to make a perfect little enamel hat clip. This one over here is the decision coin. That took 2 iterations to create. Now it's perfect. This is the single prong divot tool, feather divot tool. This one took 4 iterations to create. It's taken 5 iterations over 2 years. I finally got it done, the correct size, weight, and color. We have the golden ones here, which are earned. You cannot purchase these. These are earned specifically by the big dogs. Look at that bad boy. That's a golden one, okay? The other ones are silver. And what else do we have here? So that's that, players. This is where the magic happens. This is where the designing happens, the packing happens, the receiving happens, the iterations, the corresponding. This is where all of the stuff happens. This is not a merch scam. This is stuff I've created specifically for myself with the correct fabric, the correct designs. We adapt the designs. We create new designs. This is not simply some agency making something and shipping it third party from somewhere halfway across the world. This is in-house, real deal, top-notch, high quality shizer.